So, the Game Awards, they came and went, didn't they? We were all very patiently waiting for that because we thought this will finally be the chance we get for the Elden Ring DLC. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a couple awesome things that we got from the Game Awards. One of the craziest things that I feel like a lot of people haven't really mentioned and is kind of underrated is we finally got the release date for Black Myth Wukong, like literally probably the most hyped Souls-like, in my opinion. I think it's been like one of the ones that was in the media the most. Went pretty damn viral like 1 or 2 years ago, something like that, when like the first trailer came out. And honestly, it legitimately looks like it's going to be an insane game. It looked so insane that I legitimately didn't even really think it existed for quite a while. I was like, this game is never coming out, or it's gonna come out and just be like completely nothing like we see in the first trailer. But from every single thing we've seen from that game, it has continuously kept looking not only just as good as it did the first time we saw it and it went viral, but better and better and better. Along with the release of Ronin, the new game by Team Ninja, the developers of Nioh, which in my opinion is probably the greatest Souls-like series of all time. And yes, I know it's also like Ninja Gaiden, but we know what their inspiration is, you know, and it's Dark Souls. They've said it themselves. Literally only like 3.5 months, 4 months away, which is so freaking cool. But the one that everybody wanted, the main Souls-like, Shadow of the Erdtree, was nowhere near the Game Awards. Now, there have been a lot of leaks. I personally, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like the leaks. I actually kind of really dislike leaks, which is why I haven't really made videos about all the leaks and stuff. I feel like I used to do it often, especially for Dark Souls 3 when that was coming out. That was like some of the first videos I ever did for Dark Souls 3, covering like leaks and early footage, but I haven't really done that with Shadow of the Erdtree because I feel like I'm at a point now where I prefer being surprised. I'd rather not know when it's going to drop. For example, if it was going to drop at the Game Awards and it was leaked beforehand, it's just not as good of a surprise. I freaking love whenever you actually get to be surprised by something. I feel like it doesn't happen super often, and I genuinely want to be surprised whenever this trailer drops. I have a feeling they're just straight up going to drop it on some random Wednesday at 2 p.m. Nobody's going to know about it, and then boom. It's just the trailer's going to be here. We're going to have a release date. And for now, I'm kind of okay with that. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because I feel like a lot of people have gotten really hurt about the fact that the DLC's trailer did not come out for the Game Awards. Like, I legitimately had people in the comment section being like, you know what? I'm done with From Software. It's been 2 years, or it's been a year. Has it been 2 years? I think it's been almost 2 goddamn years. You know what? I'm done with From Software too. But there were people legitimately like that, like straight up being so negative about the fact that it hasn't been out, about how long they're taking. And in my opinion, I think that it's okay. Whatever we get, at least I hope it's going to be worth it. I feel like From Software is one of the few developers that you can quite consistently trust that they're doing the right thing and they're working on something for a good reason and taking their time. Elden Ring was very much like that for me. I feel like they took so long to not only release like a trailer or release date for the game to come out or even get any information. Even when it was a rough time and COVID was a big thing and that was going on, which was, I think, a big contributor to the fact why we didn't get it as fast as we should have or could have. I always thought to myself, like, whatever comes out at the end, I feel will probably end up being worth it. And in my opinion, Elden Ring absolutely was. The first time that I played the beta and the network test, my first thought was instantly like, holy shit, like, no wonder they have taken 2 goddamn years to even announce anything after they first revealed it. And it might have even been closer to 3 years. I can't even remember because obviously it's been so long since then. But in my opinion, when that came out, I instantly went, oh, like I can see why. And I hope that we have that same feeling whenever Shadow of the Erdtree comes out. I feel like we're all gonna get that feeling and go, so this is why they were taking so damn long to make this, because it is huge and really fun to play and just filled with so much content. for us to enjoy, and so many secrets. Like, the amount of secrets that are just in Elden Ring, the main game, is ridiculous. Like, that game took me 100 hours and I found like damn near everything, and I thought that I had found damn near everything. And then I would watch somebody else play it or watch Valentine play it and be like, where'd you find that cave? And there's just a random cave hidden behind a bush, and it has a huge boss in it, and the cave takes like 30 minutes to get through, and a bunch of enemies and new items and rings. I'm assuming we are in store for something just as crazy and filled with secrets and as fun as the main game of Elden Ring. Now, one of the funny things and rumors from like those type of leaks was that we were going to get, specifically just Shadow of the Erdtree is going to be the size of all of Bloodborne, which was a really weird statement. I don't exactly know, like, in my head I'm trying to think like how long Bloodborne usually takes, and from start to finish now, I feel like that would take like 3 hours, 4 hours, but I guess I know what they mean, like in terms of scale and levels and characters. But it's such a weird game to throw out like Bloodborne instead of like Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2. I don't think it's going to be the size of Dark Souls 2. Like, Dark Souls 2 is huge. That game has like as many bosses as Elden Ring. At least like non-repeated bosses, you know? I think it has something like 40? It was at least the most bosses before Elden Ring came out. But I legitimately think we're like in for something pretty awesome when it comes to Shadow of the Erdtree. And it seems like, with what I said, with something like Ronin and Black Myth Wukong, we'll have things to keep us busy in that time. Now, I do feel like 100% it is going to come out in 2024. A lot of people in chat and a lot of people from the comment section of the Game Awards live stream thought more like 2025, and I was just like, really? Like, there's no way, right? So my guess right now, I would say it's probably going to come out April 2024. That is my guess, and I think it'll be just freaking awesome to play, and I'm so excited. And at least we'll get to play Ronin before then. Which, by the way, some information about Ronin, I guess, while we're here. They recently did an interview with Game Informer where they talked a little bit about it. So they gave us a couple of nice little tidbits of information. Here are the bullet points from Shinobi, who is pretty awesome for these type of things if you guys like a lot of different game news. But the bullet points, I like the fact that it says that the character is indeed like a fleshed out character with a backstory. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to have something like character customization similar that we had to Neo. Maybe you'll be able to swap out from a male character and a female character. We already know with Wulong that they've done pretty well to create jiggle physics for their female characters. I do usually like having that option. Freely explorable Japan, Kyoto, and Edo, Tokyo, with countryside and rural areas between cities. Now, I love that the fact that we've gotten some gameplay from this game. It reminds me, at least from some of the more rural areas and the landscapes and some of the fields, it reminds me a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. Now, that game was freaking beautiful, man. I love playing that game with just riding around on your horse. And having a mix of something like those environments when it comes to the landscapes mixed in with the cities that are not going to be just cities where there are enemies. It seems like there's NPCs with their own, by the way, multiple dialogue choices, which is something Team Ninja has never done before. They've never actually allowed your decisions when it comes to conversations and dialogue options to really affect the story all too much. So I'm so curious to see how Team Ninja does that. You know, is it going to be like Mass Effect, where there's going to be huge ass amounts of different conversation options that are going to completely change the way something go? Are you going to be able to kill characters with decisions that you make with dialogue? Completely ruin quest lines? Have no clue. I'm very excited to see Team Ninja's first attempt at doing this. Multiple endings. Naturally, when it comes to, I feel like that's a pretty damn common trademark when it comes to Souls-likes. I swear, multiple endings, and it seems like some of the endings will be affected by the dialogue choices. This next one is one that I'm really excited for. I have no idea how this one's gonna work. Hopefully it's not kind of the way Neo does it. So, bond missions, helping specific characters to improve your relationships. The first thing that came into my head was Persona. Specifically Persona 5, whenever you do different activities with different characters and then that increases like your closeness with that character. I'm wondering if they're going to have specific stuff like that, or if it's going to be like Neo, where you basically bring gifts to the NPCs and then the NPCs kind of give you their armor or give you their weapon or give you something special. I guess we'll see. Tons of weapon varieties, like, you know, Team Ninja's so good about having so many weapons. I hope that we get a nice little variety when it comes to the movesets, and it's not just like, you know, pole arms aren't going to have the exact same movesets that they had in like Wulong. I also like the specific addition of you can set your katana on fire to do extra damage. Which, hey, if we're gonna get some buffs or some type of special abilities, I'm all for it. Of course, they've done that before with Neo and Wulong, so we know how they do it. And then, of course, to end it all, Team Ninja says to expect the same tough challenge as their previous games. Although, a little bit different when it comes to this game, it will actually come with a difficulty option. Now, obviously, something like Neo does indeed have difficulty options, but their normal level is already so difficult that any of the other difficulty options are literally make it more difficult. But from the looks of it, they're actually going to have something like an easy mode, which I know that a lot of people have certain opinions about these easy modes and stuff. I personally feel like if the developer does a difficulty option, then that's up to them. If they have no difficulty option, then that's also up to them. I think that people should be allowed to play a game the way they want. If somebody just wants to storm through the game and just completely destroy it and have an easy mode for the game, I feel like they should be allowed to do that. What annoys me is when people do that and then they'll like, oh, this game is easy as shit. I beat the shit out of this game. Why is this game so damn easy? It's like, I've seen that happen so many times in Elden Ring, and it's not like Elden Ring has a difficulty mode. At least not really. What I mean is people who used Mimic Tier, plus 10 Mimic Tier, summoned for every single boss fight, used non-stop Arcane Bleed builds, and just completely obliterated every single boss in the game, then bragging about how easy the game is, how do people struggle in this game. Like, that is probably one of the most annoying attitudes people have. I think it's okay if people want to play the game on an easy mode and do all this and summon and all that. Just don't be a dick about it. And I feel like the same should be said for people on the opposite end. There's people who play it on like the hardest difficulty, which is cool. You know, if people like the extra challenge, that's fine as well. But then don't be that person that goes, well, if you don't play it on the hardest difficulty, then did you even really play it at all? And then they go around bragging, you're playing on easy mode or normal? Oh, I see. You don't like the challenge. It's too hard for you? Like, fuck you as well, man. Like, I feel like I'm really annoyed at both sides. Just play it. Go, yeah, this is what I like. I play on easy mode. Played on hard mode. I enjoy this difficulty. And that's that. Like, don't be a dick on either end. And you should be good. You want to annoy me. Which I'm sure is what everybody doesn't want. But we got some good stuff coming, man. Rise of Ronin, Black Myth Wukong. There was even another one that I saw that at the moment I cannot remember the name of. But I'll look it up and put like a little clip of the trailer and the name of it. But that was also a Souls-like that looked pretty freaking cool. So we'll have some things, even if Shadow of the Erdtree is released in something like 2025. Guys, we're eating, you know? We're munching on some good snacks before that comes out, the main meal. And it feels kind of mean to call those games snacks because they're probably going to be pretty fucking awesome, but you know what I mean. Obviously, like, all those games are great, but the thing I'm looking forward to the most is, of course, the Shadow of the Erdtree. But I just wanted to say that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Shadow of the Erdtree and my thoughts and when I think it's going to come out. And, of course, just blush a little bit about Rise of Ronin and Black Myth Wukong, of course. But I'd love to know your guys' opinion. Do you feel like you're hopping off that Elden Ring train just because the DLC is taking too long? Will you even come back? You know, how many of you guys are actually not coming back and don't really care too much about the DLC? I'd be curious to see all your guys' comments down below. I'm sure I'll be in there replying to some people as well. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. I appreciate you guys. If you made it this far, maybe a like. Thank you so much. If you do leave a like, it always helps out the channel and helps out the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, everybody.